I was at a flea market, and at the flea market I did exactly what I normally do, and that is I spend way too much money on things that I totally don't need. So this weekend has brought me a Technics model SU-V550 amplifier. This is a 1988-89 model. Apparently, I was not able to find it in any of the catalogs that are on the internet. I paid a whopping €45 for this. I must have been crazy. Oh well, I'll get over it. We got plenty of tone controls over there. We have an input selector, obviously, and we have a volume control right there. And then, of course, Class AA, whatever that is. Really, the only reason why I got the amplifier is because it matches my Technics SLP770 CD player. Now, this unit would have been much higher up in the line than the amplifier, but oh well. And the Technics looks a little bit more exciting than this Sony amplifier. Although the Sony, to be honest, is most likely better. Looking into the Technics amplifier, I guess I have to say the Sony looks to be higher quality, but it is not necessarily higher quality, because this one is not bad either. I have a transformer right there. That looks to be about adequate for something around 50 watts of output power, I'd guess. We have a main board with a little daughter board right there. Not sure what that would be good for. It looks like this is some sort of a driver stage, which is discrete. And then, of course, for the output we have one of these all-in-one IC packages. Stereo power amplifier SVI3205. And this is just mounted to a piece of aluminum. Then they have a heat pipe bringing the heat into these fins, which I guess it makes it cheaper to produce it, but it's not necessarily bad. They're doing it in the computers all the time. Behind it here we have what looks to be a pretty beefy rectifier bridge with a heatsink on top of it. We have two filter capacitors, main filter capacitors, 82,000 microfarads at 56 volts. That's not too bad. I think the Sony has 10,000, something like that. And down here hides a relay for the speaker protection. And, well, that's it pretty much. That's all I can see. Of course, all the tone controls and general control electronics are in the front. And, well, something that I can't really figure out is this behind there. This is the phono input, and as you can see, they got, once again, a couple of modules right there. I'm not sure what these are. Look at the back. Seems we have some kind of water damage down there in the corner where it's white. Well, that's going to clean off. It's not a problem. Decent amount of inputs and outputs. This thankfully does have some real speaker connectors and not these stupid twist and lock things that always break. Figure of 8 power connector up there, that's nice. And then all of the maker's information up there. Well, this is quite a contrast. I took the tiny little LePi LP2020A Plus amplifier out of the system, and we're now going to try out the huge, great big Technics. I have the Raspberry Pi up here set up as a music player. In case you wonder what that is, that's just some silly looking flash drive. I have not turned this on yet, so let's see if something exciting happens. Get some lights, and we get our protection relay, so it seems like this is actually going to work. See. Well, I have this plugged into the CD. I should probably turn that on. Well, unfortunately the flash drive with some copyright-free music didn't seem to work, so gotta watch it. But, well, we got the tone controls over there, and a subsonic filter as well. See, now the tone controls are on. Well, we're going to need some contact spray in the balance control. Yeah, the volume control is not going to need any contact spray, which is quite amazing. We've got a phono input as well, auxiliary, got 2 tape inputs, and we also have a record out selector, which is this little knob up there. That's nice. Ooh! Now this direct switch, that's going to need a whole lot of contact spray. I should be able to get into there. Shouldn't be too hard. I guess I can. Yeah, I can just pry that switch open with my fingernail. That's not a problem. We can clean that up easily. Okay, seems like this amplifier is going to work. In addition to just cleaning the switches and potentiometers, if I had this in my workshop, I would of course take the air compressor to this, because it is kind of dusty. But it's in the apartment, and over here I only have a vacuum cleaner. I'm going to give it a try, but of course the compressor is always better. The other thing that I would do is I'd replace the heatsink grease, because the stuff that Technics put into here is really dry and brittle by now, so it's probably not going to do a whole lot anymore. But in this apartment, I'm not going to be messing around with heatsink grease, because that stuff is a mess. So that'll have to wait for another day. I hope all the solder joints are fine on this, because if not, pulling out the main board is not fun, and you cannot take the bottom panel off of this. That's kind of a bad design right there. That's it for right now, so thank you for watching, and see you again soon.